Guys, I'm going to go ahead and make this tutorial just be another example so you can watch what I do, because really this is just using keyframes, motion tween, whatever it is you need to do to create what you need to create. So what I want to do is I want to use this jump, but I don't want anything past the initial jump because they're going to have some new stuff. So I'm going to select all those frames, right click and remove frames, and then I'm going to come over here and insert frames, giving myself room to work again. I'm not going to use a helicopter this time. Let's say I'm going to have a portal. That's something I get every year from kids. I'm going to remove the motion tween and I'm going to delete my helicopter. I don't have a portal movie, but I'll worry about that later. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to finish this guy's jump, and I'm going to split motion right after this last keyframe, because like I said in the other video, if I go ahead and move this guy after this, since I already messed with the motion guides right here, it's going to put this curve in that I don't want. So I come over here and I right click, split motion. Again, I'm going to remove the motion tween just so you guys see. When you split motion, you totally create a new keyframe, so you can do whatever you want. If you want to keyframe from here, you can keyframe from here. And keep in mind, you could also keyframe your motion tween. So if you have imperfections like this, the curve is pretty hard, especially when they have straight skis. You can do that too, but this is pretty good as is. So I'm going to keep it, and I'm going to motion tween my jumper again. I move the playhead, move the graphic, and let's say I move them up, just like the last one. I'll come over here, bend the motion guide, and there I have my deal. Now, right around here, let's say right before he gets there, I'm going to have a portal open up. So I'll insert a keyframe, and I'll go ahead and keyframe a portal opening. So what I'll probably do is I'll build a radial gradient, and my two, well, that's pretty good, but I like my portals blue, so I'm going to make these two blue and one lighter. And I'm also going to insert another inkwell and make the transparency all the way to 0, so it's got a kind of a fuzzy deal going on. So I'll take my circle tool, I'll get rid of the stroke because I don't want an outline on my portal, and let's see where it needs to be. It needs to be right about there, so I'll do something like that right there. Cool. I'll go ahead and keyframe that. Actually, you know what I want to do is I want to take my paintbrush here, take another solid, let's say something like this, and adjust my brush, something small, and put a little bit of like a swirly in it. That looks like garbage. Let's try again. Let's use a vertical, and let's make the pixels 2, and I'll just do something like this. Swirly. Okay, cool. So I can go ahead and keyframe that. I'm going to, that's the full size, insert keyframe, and then I will insert a keyframe here, and I will make it smaller, holding down the shift key on the keyboard to make a uniformed resize. And then I'll see what I got here. It's all right, cool. So the skier is going to disappear once he gets in the portal, so I'll go ahead and remove his frames. Remove frames. Where is it? Remove frames. And then I'll go ahead and shrink the portal again, but I don't want to do that. I want to take a shortcut here. So I'm going to remove these frames, and then I'm going to take these 2 frames, copy them, and then right click, paste them, and then select them again and reverse them. So now essentially what we have is the portal opening and closing right here. And I can use these keyframes later. So what I'm going to do now is go down the timeline, and the portal is going to open up again. So I will insert a keyframe, insert a blank keyframe here, and then copy my portal, copy, and then come over here somewhere, paste frames. So we don't have another portal show up till later, and it's going to show up, let's say, right here. It's going to drop him out of the sky right here. And then I'll insert a keyframe, make it bigger, insert a keyframe, make it a little bit bigger. All right, cool. Now I have to have my skier drop out of there, so I'm going to go grab my skier. Or actually, you guys, what I'll do is I will insert a blank keyframe. Let's see if this will work. Yes, it does. Good. And I'll insert frame right here, so we don't have any ski jumpers until I insert a keyframe right here. I'll insert a keyframe, which is going to be blank, and then I can copy and paste my skier, or I can just grab him from the library again. He's super huge, so I got to shrink him. He'll just drop out right here. He'll just appear. Insert keyframe, and and if you wanted to motion tween, that's cool too, but keyframing will be just as easy until he gets to the mountain. So he drops off of the mountain. Meanwhile, the portal closes, so I'll copy these frames, paste these frames, reverse these frames, so the portal opens and closes. And now my skier, where'd he go? I need to extend the timeline. So I insert frame, so now he's there. Now, you guys, I don't know if I can I want him to slide down the mountain, but I don't know if I can cram that in just 15 or so frames. So I'm going to come over here, insert frame, and insert frame. Give myself a little bit more room to work. And I can just motion tween my guy now. Now watch what I do. I'm going to motion tween him / keyframe him. Okay? So basically, he's going from point A to point B. And then I'm going to take him out because he's going to go behind the trees. Now I could just go ahead and mess with this motion guide right now, but that's not going to work too well. So I'm going to keyframe within the motion tween. So I'll just go to the next frame, rotate him, move him up. Next frame, move him down, rotate. And even though I'm in a motion tween, I am most assuredly keyframing because I'm just going frame by frame. And with a rough kind of edge on this mountain, you pretty much have to, if you don't want to make it look like he's floating. Now right here, if I want to bump him here, this curve is a nice curve. So that means I can just basically mess with the motion guide from here on out, see what it looks like. So I take my black selection arrow and I do this. Let's see what that looks like. That's pretty good. Now I am gonna go ahead and put some other keyframes in there when it looks all goofy, like right here. And I'll bump him down with the arrows on the keyboard, mess with that motion guide, bump it up a little bit, then test it. Much better. And then in the middle of these keyframes here, let's go ahead and put in a rotate so it doesn't look like he's doing a wheelie. Good. Rotate, adjust. Maybe in the middle of these keyframes, rotate, move with the arrows on my keyboard. And there you go. Now I want him to disappear, but not before I adjust this last keyframe. There we go. That's pretty good. And now he's kind of hopping right there, so I'm going to bump him down. And then I want him to disappear behind the tree, so I right-click and remove frames. Yay! And there's another example. Let's look at it. And that's another example that you can do for your ski jump, you guys.